What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bavo. What's good, man?
Nothing much, man. Hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving weekend here. But want to quickly remind you, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. And for those of you interested in running business ads or promos, shoot us a DM at Hold Husband Podcast on Instagram, as well as shoot us an email at holdhusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man, SD, in the building. What's good with you?
Nothing, man. A little tired, but I'll be all right. I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind everybody to donate to the Hold a Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the core94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Gimmicks Won't Work. We wanted to have a discussion about why a lot of the dating strategies and the shortcuts that women try to use aren't getting them the results that they want out of dating. So I think that'll be a really interesting conversation. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen on our timelines or things that have been trending. So we got a couple interesting topics this week. This first video, it was a video that I had came across on another podcast where they were making the comparisons of what women say that they want in a Clark Kent and the guys that they actually desire, which are the Supermans. Let's take a look.
Man, Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Clark Kent is vulnerable. He's emotionally available. He's accommodating. He's a great guy. Lois Lane isn't attracted to Clark Kent. He's attracted to Superman, who really, when you look at this character, is the opposite of Clark Kent. He's not emotionally available. He's exciting. Lois Lane gets with Superman. But the moment she gets with Superman, she wants him to be Clark Kent. I just described vulnerability as it pertains to women and men.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. That most women, when they get in relationships with men, they envision what they can change him or mold him into. Whereas most guys, when they get with a woman or make the decision to commit to a woman, they're hoping things stay the way that they are at that period in time. And so I think that's always been one dynamic or one scenario that men are constantly having a battle against, because it logically doesn't make sense to get with someone in the hopes of changing them into something else.
Yeah, man. But I mean, being honest about it, every woman out here know a Clark Kent. Every last one of them know a Clark Kent.
Yep.
And every last one of them know a dude like that would treat him well. That's a pretty decent guy. That'll be a great father and all these here different things. But the fact of the matter is, just like Lois Lane didn't even like Clark Kent. She didn't pay Clark Kent no attention. Even though Clark Kent was on her bumper. Like, yo, notice me.
He was checking for her.
Notice me. And she wasn't paying no attention. Why? Because he was a little lame. His personality wasn't quite there. But then, when he took them glasses off and threw that cape on, he wasn't as masculine when he was Clark Kent. But when he threw that cape on and became this strong, masculine, assertive, dominant guy, bang, there she go. Panties wetter than the mud. Panties dripping wet for him. And that's what we see, like, in the world. Like, it ain't no Future got 9 baby mamas, bro. He ain't got 9 baby mamas for no reason. He got 9 because
they like something about him.
That persona, that gangster, that roughness, all of that type of stuff, that drug dealer type stuff, like that's what they are attracted to. That masculinity, even if it ain't all fake or whatever. But those other guys, they can't get close to her, man.
Man, I mean, I see like it's the prototypical, good guy, bad boy analogy here, right? We see Clark Kent, right? He's this nerdy, straight laced guy. There's nothing too exciting about him. Superman, he puts on the cape and everything. I mean, listen, the guy can fly and everything. Has a more masculine, strong presence there. And that's one thing that resonated with me, and I think it resonated with most of the audience here. Remember Family Matters? Steve Urkel. He didn't really have a
Stephon.
redeeming personality. Exact. That's where I was going with that. He transformed to Stephon. The ladies love him. Smooth, swaggy, all that stuff. That pretty much the polar opposite from Steve Urkel. I mean, yeah, he was a smart guy, but there was nothing really redeeming about him.
Yeah, I mean, but as a guy, I learned from stuff like that. Like, to me, I wanted to make sure I wasn't perceived like a Steve Urkel when it came to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I don't know. I just always learned from other guys' mistakes. I learned like seeing dudes, cuss chicks out just because they got rejected and stuff like that. All those type of things just peep game and adapted my own way of dealing with women to avoid those kind of situations. Go ahead. What you was about to say, SD?
No, the crazy part is that if you ask them what they want, because those guys typically, the Superman type guys, the guys that's out there, the masculine guys that's got the personality and all the things that women love, they are typically hoes. They are because
All the
most
women
women
want
like that. Yeah, most women like the qualities that he has. But when you ask the women what they want, they'll describe the guy like Clark Kent. That's who they'll swear up and down they want. They want the guy like Russell Wilson. They'll tell you, we don't want no guy that's like this. Like, yeah. But then when it's actually time to choose one, see, they panties don't get wet for Russell Wilson. They panties get wet for a Future. That's why they go after the guys like Future, and the guys like Future can be the hoes, and the guys like Russell can't even get one chick, let alone a few of them.
SD, I remember you had a couple of surveys on that. Who would you prefer, Future or Russell Wilson? And I think it was like almost about 80%, if not more, said they wanted Future over Russell Wilson.
Bro, they
I mean, well, to be fair, I think a lot of guys are the same way in that regards, where they'll choose a bad chick with a BBL over a solid quality woman in a lot of cases because of the looks.
I don't think so. I don't think it's the same. And the reason I don't think it's the same is because men aren't on social media saying, "Give me a Tia Mowry." Give me a Tia Mowry. That's what we want. We want a woman like in my mind, Tia Mowry is the same as a Russell Wilson. In my mind, the way they grew up, the way they act, everything. You don't have men on social media saying, "Yeah, give me her. I'll take her all day because she is so great." No, men ain't doing that. Men tell you like, "Yo, yeah, they'll take a regular chick over here. She nice looking, if they're attracted to her, sure. But they ain't gonna turn her down for a chick that's just out here doing whatever, like a Future." Most men ain't go, maybe to smash.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Women want, these women want those.
They'll have a baby with her.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They want him to stop doing that and become a Russell Wilson. Dudes take hoes for hoe activities. So if she a hoe, the men will still have sex with her, but they ain't gonna be trying to wipe her. Most men. Now you'll have some suckers that'll try to do it, but most men are not going to.
The dudes they'll try to. You know what I like about the analogy? Like, shout out to E40, the Captain Saver hoes, the guys that struggle with women, struggle to get the attention from women, etc. And so they go above and beyond, the pandering, the ass kissing, the Captain Saver hoe doing anything that they can, and just allow themselves to get used and abused by women. That's interesting. It's like Clark Kent trying to pretend to be Superman. You know what I mean?
Man, them dudes should get 6 months in the county for that, man. They should get 6 months in the county for simping. That's what they should do. Doing any and everything that these women want. But, on the flip side, though, it's kind of hard to blame them because they got to do what they got to do in order to get what they can get. So,
But that's not true. That's not from a male perspective. There are a couple key fundamental things that a guy can improve that are guaranteed to improve his success rate with women if he's a straight man, right? Getting in shape, getting your money together, working on your communication skills, improving your grooming. Like if a dude just focus on those four things, how can you not have more success with women?
he gotta have confidence too. That's probably the number one thing, because I know some big dudes that's confident that can get women. I know some ugly dudes that's confident that can get women. It's a lot of personality in that too. That's really attractive to women. So if your personality ain't there, it's a lot of dudes, especially now, that didn't grow up talking to women. So they're socially awkward. They don't know how to talk to women and approach women, and they don't have the confidence to do that. So I don't know. I don't know that necessarily getting money, because some of them got money. Like I don't know if that's gonna work without the confidence. I doubt it.
I mean, all are valid points. I see what Terry said. At the very least, it will improve your chances some. I mean, I won't necessarily just bring them up. You know, it may or may not bring them up drastically, but it at least improves some to what it was before.
Yeah, at least you can. If you lame, at least you can afford to take the baddies on the dates and do the. You can.
But you got to get to them, though. You got to get the date. Now, if your money is really, really out of this stratosphere, they will come at you, lame or not.
Oh, I'm top.
Oh yeah,
lame or not. But if
then you become a target. Actually, you become a target if you become famous and they know you got the bag.
Right, but if you're a regular guy, let's say you're a little bit above average and you're making $80,000-$90,000, and you just like, women ain't just running at you like that. Like, you outside, man, they don't know, bro. You in a Camry, like, they don't know you. They ain't really coming at you that way. You know what I mean? So your confidence got to be up there for women to come at you like that. Like, and your money really got to be good. That's why it's so tough for men nowadays, especially your average men. Your average men out here, so many of them aren't getting any women. And it's because they don't have.
So what do you consider the guys making for it? 50, 60K guys? What when you say?
Yeah, but when I say average, when I say average, I mean average probably across the board. There's certain things that women consider average, whether it's average money, whether it's average living, whether it's average height at 5'9" or shorter. It could be your physical appearance. That's average. You don't have the personality. You don't really have humor. You don't have no swag. It's just average. That type of stuff there is gonna put you. It's gonna put you under the bar for most women, because most women that's average believe that they deserve a man that's above average. So they're not looking for a man that's average. Yeah,
I agree. Just want to piggyback what you said, Esty, real quick, about the average part. I mean, as men, we're not going to be sufficient in every single category, right? But you can't be average across the board, right? But you can't be average across the board. I think that's where you're going with it. I think that's going to hurt you if you're just averaging everything.
But it depends on what you bring to the table. Like, I always look at it like you got to look at somebody whose overall score is relatively near yours. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like, a woman that's below average in appearance can't expect a guy that's above average in a whole bunch of categories. Like, that just don't logically make sense.
I agree. You're absolutely right, but they do anyway. I mean, look at Kendra G's show. How many women go on there?
Come on. Kevin Samuels was the same way.
Man, do y'all think that those people are just saying it because they own? People say anything when they ain't get a microphone.
No. Terry, no.
I think some of them mean that. I think some of them actually mean what they say.
Trying to go viral, man.
Why would you, Terry? Why would you come on a dating show and you've been single all this time, and then say something that you know is ridiculous for you, unless you meant it? Come on now, like, these women really mean that when they come on here and say, "Oh, he gotta make 100,000, he gotta make 200,000, he gotta make 300,000," and you be looking at her, she's a 3. With 2 kids.
Some of them be having 4 or 5 kids saying it's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I swear 90 some percent of the women go on Kendra G's show and was on Kevin Samuel's show saying that they want a man that make 100,000. Now, how many of them look like they deserve a man that make 100,000? Because that's how the men gonna look at it, right?
Right.
So off bat, they eliminating 85, 90% of
90% of guys.
No wonder they can't get a man out here. Just listen to them. And then they say, I won't settle. I won't settle.
Right.
I deserve this. Y'all want me to struggle. No, sweetheart, we don't want you. We want you to be realistic with who you are. You're average at best.
And what you bring to the table.
Yeah,
but see, that's the thing. Like that, I don't understand why the word average has such a negative connotation. Yeah. Like if we get 20 guys in a room, 15 other guys' salaries gonna be within a certain range of one. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only gonna be a couple outliers of the group, and so there's nothing wrong with being average. Like dating it's kind of like boxing. It's not a team sport. You don't get to collectively, well, I guess in certain situations you can use a wingman, but overall, it boils down to how you interact with a woman one-on-one when it comes to a man having success with women. And so, like as Dee was saying earlier, the guys that can make a chick laugh, that can have women liking his outfits and liking his swag and asking what cologne he got on, like the dudes that, like he said, they overweight. It's dudes with gray hair. It's dudes of all shapes and sizes have success with women because they have learned what to say and do and how to work what they have at their disposal.
Yep.
But it's just so funny to hear.
Go ahead. It's funny what?
No, I was just saying how to see some of these guys, how much they struggle. Like it's with stuff that I just consider to be common sense in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but everybody, man,
so common.
A lot of it's not, man. But like I said, man, the average dudes is getting killed out here, bro. They are, because, like I said, the women just don't like them, and I think it's a product of social media. You know what I'm saying? Social media got so many average women. Yeah, like so many average women getting their heads inflated on a daily basis. Every selfie, they getting hundreds of likes, hundreds of DMs, hundreds of comments, and it's inflating their self-value in the dating market, but it isn't inflating it to men, especially the men that they want. The men that they want, those upper tier type of guys that's above average, are saying, nah, you ain't gonna cut it. Like, that ain't gonna cut it for me, sweetheart. I can see the lace in your wig. It's not gonna happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and really, that's how I look at it out here in the dating world. I've worked hard to get to where I am. There's no way I'm gonna walk around with a woman that's overweight, out of shape, obese, ain't did no work on herself, and she's a whore. Absolutely not. I put myself in the position where I can date. I don't have to date a whore that's overweight. I don't have to. So therefore, I won't, because I'm at a different plateau in my life.
It's level to it. It's level to it, fellas.
Exactly. You gotta be where I want you to be. That's just what it is. And men have the luxury of no biological clock, and they have the luxury of being able to choose, because so many women want him. That's why so many women are left out in the cold trying to search for the unicorn man that they can't get, that they don't qualify for.
All right, man, let's keep things rolling. Now, this next video is brilliant, but it's real shiesty at the same time. I came across this video a little bit earlier where it was talking about how restaurants are preying on women's loneliness to make money. Let's take a look.
Met this guy on a dating app, and he immediately asked me out on a date to a specific restaurant. He confirmed day of. I get to the restaurant and see that he's nowhere to be found. So I reach out, no response. I check the app and notice that he unmatched me. At that point, I was a little confused and I was kind of pissed because I was already dressed and I got all the way there. And because I had put in so much effort, I thought I might as well just have a meal while I am in the building. And it wasn't until I got home when I was scrolling Facebook and I saw a very similar story from a girl at that same restaurant who also got stood up. She found out that there are restaurants now posing as people on dating apps just so you go to their business, and once you get stood up, they know that probably 9 times out of 10 that you're going to buy something from them. And that just blew my mind.
When I saw it,
I'm so lonely.
Yo, SD, you a fool, bro.
see, SD, man, you so insensitive, bro.
Yeah, you
Hey
a
man, it is what it is, man. Like whatever.
fool. Damn.
Get it together, man. Go ahead.
That's a brilliant idea. Like scammers and criminals and people like that. They're the most brilliant people. Like I try not to watch crime shows and documentaries, but I be fascinated with how their minds work. Like that is a very brilliant concept. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the person is using their brilliance for negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that's messed up to think about. Like
It
how
is messed
how
up.
much money they made off of it.
Yeah, it is.
And
messed
it
up.
worked
I
on
ain't
men
gonna-
and women. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a
Yeah, I'm
baddie,
sure.
the picture. Let meet me there. Let's go to this restaurant. It's cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like you go somewhere, it ain't no you going to expect, and then you go in there.
Yeah. Hey, remember the dude, the black dude with the glasses, maybe 6-7 months ago that got stood up at the restaurant? That's what it
Yeah.
reminded me of. Like you know, that's pretty dirty. Like I don't know who they got behind it, but I mean
this
it's
person.
yeah, I mean it's dirty. I just think that
Yeah.
it's, you know what I'm saying, at that moment, because that was my first time hearing this video or seeing this video, that you know it's pretty funny, man, when you sit back and think about it, but it's messed up. But that's why it's important, man, to be FaceTime, because a lot of people be going on these dates and they don't even be FaceTiming these people. Like they don't even know who they going out with. They just texting. They just texting over the app and saying, "Yeah, I'll meet you at such and such, such and such." They ain't doing nothing, man. Like,
Well, you know,
'cause
I hadn't
he
even
might
thought
have got
about
there. Yeah, he might have got there and then seen her. She like, "Yeah, I'm outside in a white dress," and he roll up and she huge. It happened to me once. It happened to me one time.
Oh,
Yeah.
you get
No
catfish.
This is before social media. You know, I was out working, and I gotta tell this story. I was out working, I'll tell it real quick. And I called, this girl called my phone. I was working. I said, "Oh, you got the wrong number, sweetheart." She sounded sexy. So she called me back and was like, "Hey, you sound good." I'm like, "You too. What's up? You want to meet?" She was like, "Yeah." So I had my boy take me. So I had to meet me at like Wendy's or something like that. She told me she was in a Ford Focus and it was red, whatever. So we pulled up, or blue. We pulled up and I seen her. And she was, when I say huge in that Focus, I mean huge in that Focus.
Damn.
And I kept going, like, "Hey man, keep going. And he clowned me. That was like 15 years ago, and he still clown me to this day. So you never know, man, when you ain't meeting people, like, or when you meet them for the first time, some people will do that. Pull up on you and see you. You don't know what kind of car they in. You know what I'm saying? And then just keep rolling. So you never know. That's why you gotta, you know what I'm saying, FaceTime people.
Man, that's insane. I mean, it's a clever way to get business, but it's also an underhanded way to get business, man. But that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, man, you chatting with this person, you correspond with this person, and you ain't asked to FaceTime with it, you didn't exchange numbers and nothing. They said, "Hey, meet me at this restaurant." I mean, sounds like they using like AI, using Chat GPT on these dating apps or something, man. They giving these generic responses.
Yeah, I guess I always thought that, like, on a dating app, once the conversation extend like past a couple of exchanges, it goes from there to phone, like direct text, right?
Yeah.
Like who
usually
just
that's the way it goes.
I've heard women say that they don't want guys to have their real number, just in case you cut them off type situation. But
yeah, I
can
do
see
get
both
that
sides of it.
I think what some of them do, they'll give them like, was text now number or Google Voice number, which is understandable for safety reasons. Like you said, in case it doesn't work out, they don't look up the number and try to get your address, and you got next thing you know, you got some crazy stalker or something.
I guess if you on Tinder and all that, matching with people and you know what I'm saying, doing stuff like that, yeah. But,
see, I thought that was linked, like you try to hook up with somebody, like you looking for love on Tinder, like what?
Yeah, I guess they
like,
got.
What does that say about you?
I guess they got like certain things you could put on there because it's this guy at work who uses it, a young guy. He this young white dude. He hook up with girls a lot, but he say that you can change your thing to say that you want something serious. Also, it ain't just for hookups, from what he say. So you can have something different on your profile, but I wouldn't trust it, man. Like, forget that. Forget that, because go to Instagram. What's your Instagram? Like, I need to see that you got pictures from years ago, not 10 pictures from yesterday. No, it's not happening, because people do that type of stuff.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, for there to be a social media threads about countless people that have fallen for this scam. Like, it's like, man, what kind of dating practices do these people have? Like, are people not actually having phone conversations these days? Like,
sounds like they didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just one of those. For me, it's like one of those. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I think these are it was one of those deals where it seems like this was just too good to be true here.
Man, well, not really, but because meeting somebody for a dinner ain't like winning nothing or the lottery or nothing. Mm-hmm. It ain't no guarantee you gonna actually like the person. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but it's just like, damn, these people prey on the most vulnerable ones.
It's a lot of desperate people out here, and they let them know they're desperate. Like, you could tell a desperate chick when you talk to her, or a desperate dude. He trying to buy you something real quick, and I ain't talking about like some dinner or send you something like that or whatever. I'm talking about this dude, man, he doing too much.
Right.
They doing too much. They thirsty and trying to make everything work and turn into a husband or a wife or whatever. Like, them people get played the most.
But this is how, just on a general basis, right? This is how, scammers and, con men, this is how they get on and keep whatever they got going. They prey on people who are vulnerable or just, totally naive. That's what they prey on.
Yeah. I know I wouldn't stay. Let me get to the restaurant and Shorty don't show up. I ain't buying nothing out of here.
Like, well, see, I've never been stood up to where I've drove to a place, but I've made plans with somebody and then you hit them up that day and they don't hit you, they don't respond or something like that. Like, that's stood up to me. Like, who just get dressed and drive to the restaurant? Like,
listen,
that's wild.
Ain't nothing worse than get stood up after you get that hotel room, boy. And you sitting in there, man, and you like, oh, so what time you coming through? Oh, man.
Oh, man. You sit there and watch the cable by yourself.
Man, listen. Man.
That's
like,
funny.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a babysitter. Ho, what you mean you ain't going to be able to get a babysitter?
Oh, man.
Now you tell me? Nah, man, listen. Now I got to beat off, and I paid $90 to beat off. You done paid $300 for the room for the night to beat off.
Yeah. You sitting there watching ESPN and HBO by yourself in that room, man.
You ain't watching HBO, man. You on your phone looking at Twitter X. That's what you looking at. Try to get that one off.
Hey, but that's part of the game, man. So it come with the territory. Nowadays, ghosting people, blocking people, and just cutting them off is common. So you have to be prepared for it. I'm surprised that, well, I can't really say that I'm surprised, but the idea that there are businesses actively doing things like this just show you, man, marketers don't have no morals or ethics whatsoever.
No, they're just trying to make the money.
No fucks. Yeah,
but listen, one of my guys flew out to New York to see a chick one time, and she stood him up.
Oh, man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
hell
she didn't get with him while he was out there. She played around and messed around, and he never got with her. And then there was that. I laughed at him. I laughed. I mean, I ain't gonna even lie.
Yeah,
I talked about him for the longest, like because I told
you was
him not
on
to
his
go.
ass on that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so
like
you was
nah,
schooling on the
bro.
whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, man, something ain't right with Shorty. Like, no, you don't go out to, no chick city like that. Like, nah, man,
Man,
you the man.
man,
You know what I'm saying? Make her feel
you know,
comfortable enough to come here,
you
but
know,
don't do that.
you
And
know
he
what?
liked her too.
That's SDI, and I'm just gonna drop a quick gem based on what you said, fellas. If a chick is interested in you, she will fly to you. She will fly Spirit, Southwest Airlines, whatever, and she will come to you.
She will. Like, I don't go see women, man. Like, I ain't doing it. Absolutely not. I ain't comfortable. I need to be locked and loaded at home and be safe at the crib. I'm gonna take care
Yeah,
of you.
do
you
not
have
have
more.
yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
You had,
Yeah.
like you said, the safety aspect of it. That's a real big thing now. But
Yeah.
I always like you have more of an opportunity to set yourself up for success if you control the environment. I always liked being able to show women how I'm living and show them my crib and things of that nature, and just being able to set the environment for romance to happen. When you go into a woman's house, you never know what you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or who gonna pop up?
yeah,
Yeah.
or who's gonna pop
No.
up.
I don't go over women's
Uh,
houses, man. That's a bad move.
So yeah, that's something that once you out of your teens and early 20s, that's something you should probably shy away from, because once you old enough to have your own space, man, that should be your playground for your fiascos with women.
That's right.
All right, man. Looks like we are up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into tonight's topic. Gimmicks won't work, where we're gonna be talking about why some of the shortcuts and the dating strategies that women try to use have not been effective. You guys are tuned into the Hold a Husband podcast. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. We have tonight's special guest on. We have Tamara on the line. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
We doing all right. We looking forward to the
Doing
conversation. Before we get into the conversation, can you let the viewers know a little bit about you, your background, your relationship status, etc.?
Oh, that's a mouthful. Well, I'm Tamara. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a stepmother. I do work from home. I'm also a cybersecurity analyst, so I'm a little nerdy as well, if you want to put it like that. And yeah, I just began speaking my mind on some of like the relationship stuff. So I don't know if I would call myself like a therapist or a counselor, but just more so a woman with my background, speaking from experience and just other experiences. So that's a little about me, I guess.
But that's what's I mean, that's where we all started.
Yeah.
That's I started speaking from a male perspective. I saw there was a need or a lack of the type of content that I wanted to that I felt would be helpful. So we appreciate. I came across your video. Somebody had tagged me in one of your videos That's what made me reach out to you about actually coming on to the podcast. So we know them days of growing your following and the early start. So we appreciate you coming out to get some of your rookie jitters out the way.
Right.
So the first thing that I wanted to ask, so tonight's episode we're talking about the gimmicks won't work. And so I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the most counterproductive dating strategy that you either see online or that you see women trying to use in real life?
It's like the expectations going into these dates. I feel like I think the problem is women are waiting, so long to take their dating life serious. So by the point that they're ready to date, they have higher expectations. Like, I think about when I dated with my husband, we were in our early 20s and the expectation really wasn't as high, as, modern women now require. I just wanted a guy that was, had good character, that was decent, at least easy on the eyes. We had good conversation. And I just think about our first date and we did more talking than eating. The chemistry was there. And so I just think women just kind of go into these dates as if these men are their husbands and they're supposed to be providing and laying out this red carpet. Like, you haven't proved anything yourself. So I just think there's just unrealistic, expectations compared to like when you're younger. Your standards are not as high because you're trying to get your life together. I just think it makes it harder the older you get because you're progressing in life. So now you're expecting this partner to at least meet you where you are. And a lot of times too, I also think industry comes into play. Like me and my husband, we're in two different industries, right? And I think a lot of times women kind of have like a one-track mind, and no, you can't think like that. Like, my husband's in the military, I'm in the tech field, but I love that man to death. Like, I would, what he chooses to do in life should not decipher whether he's a bad guy. Like,
right.
You're going to do your thing as a man, I'm going to do my thing as a woman. Everybody has their own individual goals, right? So I just think women just have unrealistic expectations going into these first dates. Let's get to know each other first and figure out if we want to progress.
And you know what? Waiting longer for women is a horrible mistake for them. And not just because their expectations grow, but because once they actually get out here and they want those things that they expect from a man, it's typically going to come from a man that's older a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then, so if a man can meet your expectations of the money, the stability, and all these things, he can meet a lot of other women's too, and they like him and they know it. And so that man there typically wants a younger woman that actually he can help mold and grow something with that'll actually listen. Not a boss chick that's done been out here for 35 years doing things her own way now. I'm sorry. Like, nobody told you to wait all this time, and now you're older, you stuck in your ways, you want me to do everything, you want me to have this, you want me to have that and do this. Like, no, forget you. You should have did it when you were in your prime. Like, because
when they had the most
prime later. Exactly. Men get into their prime later. And when a man is in his prime, he can typically get a younger woman if he's financially there and mentally there with maturity. So it hurts them. So
younger women typically are like the competition, essentially.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what I have learned, like, because I just couldn't understand, like, why aren't we teaching younger women how to move better and how to date? We should have learned over the years, and there's not enough women. Hell, there's not men and women.
I don't think they would listen.
Teaching.
I don't think most. I think most, especially younger people, have a rebellious attitude where they like, I don't want to be a wife anyway. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, a woman trying to give them guidance or wisdom like that would be met with, "Oh, you just a pick me. Oh, you just," you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure some of the.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, I was about to say some of the.
But hey, you picked, and they not. They
never
trying to
looked
be
at it as
picked.
an insult. Yeah, I was like, I don't even understand why that's an insult. And I've actually had a woman. This was crazy. I'm really more on TikTok, so I really be ruffling feathers on TikTok. And I had a chick told me that she was in a better position than I was. I'm married, right? But because she said I had to get a guy to marry me to get him to do for me. Meanwhile, she got a dude that spends money on her and she didn't have to get married. I said, sis, that's not a flex. You're not covered. Do you listen to what you just said, right? And I said, that just shows like what's right is looked at as wrong, and what's wrong is looked at as right. And I'm like, when did we get to this point in life? Like, when did not being married? I mean, it's one thing if you don't want to be married. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't ever want to be married, that's fine. But don't sit here and make marriage like it's just this disease, like it's just something that you just want to avoid.
So I wanted to ask you, why do you think a lot of these gimmicks and these shortcuts that I see on social media that go viral, why do you think women aren't having long-term success with those things?
Okay, so when you say like gimmicks, can you give me like an example? So to speak. I mean, because I've seen a few.
I see women that that try to coach women on how to get the guy to spend the most money, or how to finesse guys, or how to run these type of tricks and gimmicks on guys. But those things seem to be focused on short-term goals, not actually reaching the relationship goals that most women seem to have.
Because basing it on something that's not, I don't feel like it's a solid foundation. If you are basing it on a man's money, that could come and go. Anything can happen in life. And so I just think it actually irritates my soul, I swear, when I see other women, teaching women just such toxic ways to go about dating. And it almost, in a sense, I feel like dehumanizes the person you're trying to go on a date with. Like, you're just only looking at his resources and his assets. What about the person? The person is what's going to count to be a good husband, to be a good father, to be a good partner in general. So I just think we judge men on finances, but again, when you get into a committed relationship, life gonna be lifing for the both of y'all. And finances are going to be up and down, and you can't go into a situation banking on money, because that, just like you can't go into a relationship and think love is going to be enough. Love and money is not enough. It's just not enough to keep a relationship going. And women want to feel happy all the time. They want that security to feel happy all the time. So if you're in a relationship for 30 plus years, you're going to be happy all the time? Hell no, you're not going to be. I'm sorry.
You can
go
ahead.
Speak freely.
But yeah, like, hell no, you're not going to be happy all the time. But if maybe 5 years out of those 30 years were unhappy times, I think that is a win. I just think that's normal when you live with somebody, or you're committed to somebody, around somebody all the time. It's not going to be happy all the time. They're going to get.
But that doesn't apply to anything. That's what makes it so strange. Like, parents don't love everything about their kids. Like, there aren't every single day where you just like happy with your child. Like, but that don't mean that you're not a good parent or that you don't love them. It's the same way with siblings, or with how you felt towards your parents. Like, and so with your spouse, it should be the same expectation. But you're right. It's social media has warped a lot of the expectations and provided this false sense of you have so many people that you could just be with instead. Which
you cannot.
It look good on social media, don't it? But you know what?
Go ahead.
It don't look good to me on social media, and I tell my husband all the time. I said, thank you for getting me off this damn market, because I could not. Social media it's teaching our youth the wrong things. There's not enough of us speaking up on how to do things the right way and what the true expectations are. No one wants to admit their dating faults. I guess the relationship folks. I just feel like well, women, so to speak, they don't want to.
It is a lot of that.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, but on social media,
marriage.
Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
So with marriage, back to that other point of the happiness in the marriage, right? When you see a woman get divorced on social media and there's no real reason for it, she's not happy anymore. She wants more. Women applaud it, right? And we just talked about women's
divorce
happiness,
party,
right? And how they expect to be happy. Hey, right. But they expect to be happy all the time, right? So in my world, as a single man that would like to get married, I'm so reluctant to do it because how, as a man, do I guard against a woman not being happy for the majority of the time? How do I do that when most of these women aren't happy the majority of the time on their own without a man in their life? Without a man in their life, their moods change by the minute, depending on what happened. They sad, they irritated, they frustrated, whatever. So now you add a man into the mix. How do I keep you happy most of the time so that you do not walk away and then try to take my money with you as you go? Like that's a real big thing for most men out there.
That drop off from the honeymoon phase to just the regular phase of the relationship is enough for most women to leave. Like you go from that excitement of being a new relationship to now we having dinner and having to do dishes and regular stuff. A lot
because
of
all they wanted was the marriage. They didn't really want to be a wife. They just wanted the ceremony, the ring, and all these things they can show off and brag about on social media.
The thought of it.
And the title.
Yeah. That's why it's important for the men to vet these here women. And if the things are more important to her that she had this huge wedding or that you spend 3 months salary on her ring, that's so important to her. It's more important than the commitment. And when she ain't happy with something that you're doing, it's going to be a problem for you, and she gonna find somebody else. Like you said, the money go up and down. Have a woman like that, she gonna be gone. I guarantee it. If that money comes
quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yep. And I've called women out there. Oh, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, I think one of the problems that we have, especially on social media, is trying to effectively communicate with such a large group of people. And so I think the term dating has been used in so many terms and contexts that I think it kind of confuses a lot of people. So I wanted to ask you kind of a two-part question. One, how do you define dating? And then on top of that, what would you recommend for women to actually reach their relationship goals?
How I would define dating. Okay, I'm a little old school. I guess you would consider me old school, but I just figured dating is getting to know somebody. It shouldn't really be about the dollar amount the guy spends. It's just I need to figure out if I even want to spend more time with you. And like I said, I've been on dates where I've, before my husband, I went on dates where if me and the guy weren't clicking, we've split the bill. I paid for myself, he paid for himself. The only thing that we both lost was time or whatever, but we just both kind of knew like, okay, this ain't gonna happen again. And not, it is what it is. I think dating is just more so for getting to know the person. I mean, y'all are both equally going to be investing time. A man does not owe you for your time when he's also investing that time. And I don't think you don't have to spend high dollar amounts. If you want to go to a nice little restaurant, it doesn't have to be anything like expensive. Go to, I'm all about a happy hour and getting a good appetizer. I just need to know, if I want to continue to spend time with you. And I also think about it.
That's what it's about.
Right. Yep. And I think about it too. Like, I don't want this man to be spending, this large amount of money on me and we don't even know if we're going to be vibing like that. And my daddy always taught me whenever you go on a date, you always have enough money for yourself. So I never make the assumption that the man is going to pay because I can whip out my card as well to cover myself. So I just think, go in with the understanding that, I need to figure out if I am vibing with this person, if I can see myself going on a second date versus trying to figure out what stops, he's going to show you. Like, he shouldn't have to roll out the red carpet because he doesn't even know if you're worth the red carpet, sis. That's how I think about it. Like, you got to prove your worth just like they got to prove their worth, to a certain degree. As far as the second part, you got to take away the societal standards to a certain degree that are put on men. I mean, yes, they're looked at as providers, but he should not be providing for you yet. Like, he doesn't even know if he like you like that. He knows that he might be attracted to you just like you're attracted to him, but he don't know if he like you like that. Men tend to invest in women that they like and that they are willing to actually spend time with and are interested in. It's not rocket science. I feel like these days women are not getting the type of men that they want, or they're not getting the type of men that they want. They're not getting what they want from a man. So now they're going in with this entitled mentality, and now they're requiring it. Fuck trying to wait for a man to do it. I'm just gonna tell you what I want. Okay, but you have not shown you deserve that. So yeah, so go in, with the understanding that you all are on the same playing field. When I say the same playing field, both of y'all have the potential to lose time and money with this meeting, okay? And I just think when you level the playing field in that regard, you ain't got no choice but to look at the person, and just figure out, is this person worth my time and my money?
I don't think a lot of women view it like you talked about, equal and equally investing time. I don't think most women view it that way. They look like they're doing a man a favor by going on a date with a guy. Like it's like this kind of sense of entitlement, and it's so awkward because my platform is built on speaking on guys that have success with women. So it's never from a guy's perspective that's desperate for attention or struggling to get women to hang out with him. So no guy that is actually having success with women feels lucky to be hanging out with an attractive woman. Like, that's just kind of his lifestyle. And so for women to have this kind of lopsided perspective on it, where they feel like something basic like having sex or hanging out or having dinner means so much to a man, it's like, man, their perspective on men is so out of touch with reality that to me, that's the biggest reason that they struggle with dating.
We lost again.
Tamara, before we go, I wanted you to do you have any tips or suggestions for the ladies on ways that they can flirt or encourage a guy to shoot their shot? So they can get a husband like you?
I guess. Now, I don't know if I have any tips, but like I said, I kind of came into the picture before social media really took off, and I feel like people are so keen on online dating now. But I just find men are not really hard. Okay, I am not a girl that approaches men. I'm gonna be honest. I've never been that girl. So anybody that approached me, they came at me. But I just good woman. And when I say be a good woman, when you're just a good woman in general, it's going to exude, in every facet of life, right? And that is just being giving, being generous, being respectful, being sweet. There should not be anything that you have to do to get a man outside of being a good woman, honestly. There's nothing that you can wear. There's nothing that you can put on. There's no way that you have to act. Just be a respect. You know what? A lot of women all love to say that they're God-fearing. Be that. Be that. Be a God-fearing woman. Be that. And when you're that, you'll get the type of man that you need.
All right. Well, it looks like we are up against the clock. So we're about to get up out of here. Before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast with our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. And tomorrow, we definitely enjoyed the conversation. Look forward to having you on the podcast in the future, possibly. And continue success with your content. You're on in the right direction. This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Thanks.